In today's video, I'm going to share with you one simple Kumite training strategy that can help martial artists of all ages and experience levels get the most out of their training and gain their edge in competition. And we're getting started right now. What's going on, team? Nick here. Now, there's a couple reasons that I'm wearing this jacket today. The first one being, well, I live in Michigan and it's November and it's getting pretty cold. But the second reason, and the most important one, is that about a week away from today, I'm going to be going with 4 other athletes from Michigan and a number of other athletes from all across the US who are members of the USSSA National Karate Team. And we're going to be jumping on some planes, heading over to Italy for the WUKO World Cup. Try saying that a few times fast. WUKO World Cup, where we have the incredible opportunity to represent the United States against a number of different countries from all over. So I want to take this opportunity today and share with you a concept that we utilize during our training for competitions that can also help you regardless of if you compete or what level you're at. You can help yourself get to the next level and get the most out of your training. Now, applying this concept will help us avoid throwing just random techniques and training random techniques where I'm not going to really benefit from it all that much and I'm not going to see the results that I want. So the concept we're talking about today is being a Kumite specialist. Now, what I mean by that is if we look at any profession, let's say in the medical industry, you have your general doctors, and then let's say you have a neurosurgeon. So the general doctor has to know an incredible amount of info about the entire body. And a neurosurgeon, now they might have that same knowledge, but where they separate themselves is that they have cracked down and specialized in one area or a small percentage of what everybody else looks at. Now, the way that we apply that same concept here to get us the most out of our training is by narrowing down everything that we could do down to just a few different combinations. Now, as you get more experience, you may change this concept and modify it a little bit, and I'll explain that in just a second. But as you're just starting out, let's say our number one combination would be the technique that we score the most often. Not the technique I like to throw or the one that I throw the most often, but it's the one that I actually land successfully more than anything else. So as you're just starting out, most likely if you're in traditional karate, your most commonly thrown technique and most successfully scored technique is the jab reverse punch. Alright, so what we would do is we'd take that and set that as our number one. Now, looking at the number 2 technique, we're going to look at the technique I score the second most often. So maybe it's a jab and a side kick or a jab roundhouse kick. Whatever yours is, this is going to vary from person to person. We're going to set that as our number 2 technique. Now, the number 3 is where we get to have a little bit of fun. We get a little bit crazy. This is the technique that you just really want to score. All right, this might be a hook kick or a sweep, or if you're just starting out, it might just be a side kick or a round kick. It's just the technique that you'd really like to land, or what we call our highlight reel technique. Ooh. Ah. So what we would do is we'd take these 3 combinations, this jab reverse punch, this jab roundhouse kick, and then maybe a hook kick or something along those lines, and we would train these more than anything else. Now, we have all of our other techniques, but just like a carpenter has their tool belt where they keep the things they use the most often, we're gonna keep these 3 combinations as kind of our karate tool belt, where these are gonna be the ones that we train the most, we use the most, and we rely on the most during our sparring. Now, as we get more advanced, let's say my most commonly scored technique is the reverse punch. It might be part of the jab reverse punch, but then we might change this. We might use this as a fake down low, and then I go up high for the reverse punch to the head. Maybe I utilize the front hand and I take this away and I throw the reverse punch. Maybe I trap their hand down and go over the top. All right, so take a second and think about what your most commonly thrown techniques are. Drop your number 1 or number 2 or all 3 if you know them down in the comment section, and we'll just kind of see what people like to throw. But I'm guessing that we'll see a general consensus of, in traditional karate, the reverse punch being the most common. In any kicking style like taekwondo, you might see the round kick is the most commonly thrown technique or the most commonly scored technique. But just take a second, drop a comment down below and just see if we're right with this. So we can train this in a number of different ways at every experience level. Maybe we set one person and they can only throw their number one technique for the entire sparring match. If it's a reverse punch, maybe I'm throwing this down low, maybe I'm trapping their hand and going up high, maybe I'm switching and coming from the other side with a reverse punch. So we can throw any version of the technique from any position that we want, as long as we're just isolating that one technique. Now you might do some line drills where you have one person at the start, everybody else comes up and they can throw their number one or number two, or open it up for all three, and the person up front just counter reverse punch. But either way, I'm gonna focus on finding new ways to get my best technique in there rather than finding new techniques to train. This is gonna really help us bring our sparring to the next level. Now, if you like this concept, you'll love some of the other stuff we have coming up, so make sure you hit subscribe down below and then hit that bell icon. That way you'll be updated every time we put out a new video. But after you do that, check out some of our other videos I'll toss over here on the side. You can see some of the stuff we've done previously. But have an awesome time training this. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, peace.